Probably means we're doing something right. We have a really special speaker tonight. He's one of my really good friends, JC Doss. If you haven't met him, please get to know him. He's a really inspiring guy to be around because he always wants to improve upon himself, and he's like not afraid of anything. I think he's kind of fearless, and he's like always really adamant about getting constructive feedback, which is not so easy sometimes, but he has like really thick skin, so he's always asking for feedback to improve himself, and I really like that about him because it makes me want to be more like that. And he's really intelligent. He works really hard to put together these talks, and we're really lucky to have him here. Let's give a big round of applause for JC Doss.
Hello guys.
What's up, JC?
I feel kind of like a king sitting on this chair. I hope it's okay. Yeah. So I'm going to talk about something kind of interesting today. You guys can all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about attraction and what makes somebody attractive. So I think that should be kind of interesting. You guys like the topic so far? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the word attraction actually comes from the Latin attrahere, and that literally means to draw or to pull. So if somebody's attractive, they're literally able to draw or pull other people to them. And this Latin attrahere is where you also get words like tractor, which literally is like a claw that pulls things to that person. You also get words like trace. You see, anytime someone's drawing something, somebody's designing something, somebody's creating something, we're naturally just so attracted to that. And also, attrahere, you get track, like a music track. And you can see how that attracts our minds as well. So it's very interesting. And according to the yoga text, that supreme, divine, conscious source, where everything is emanating from, where everything is coming from, that is known as the all-attractive. And that's actually the definition of Krishna. If you guys look up Krishna on Google, you'll see that it means the all-attractive. So that supreme source, that divine source, has all these attractive qualities in full. And we're currently in this material realm, and we get bits and pieces of this attraction. And if somebody has a little bit of these qualities, then they're able to literally pull people to them. And according to the yoga text, there's 6 major qualities that we're gonna discuss. So I want you guys to kind of guess what those 6 qualities are. And I can start with the first one, which is wealth. Anytime someone has a certain amount of money, a certain amount of wealth, we're naturally very attracted to that person. I sometimes do this experiment. I'll be like on a busy street and there's a bunch of people, and then I'll say to my mind, you see that person over there? That person has millions of dollars. And then my psychophysique nature is just sees that person in a different limelight all of a sudden, just because of that thought experiment. And I remember when I was 18 years old, my dad, he has a car business, so he's able to really hook it up with some cars. And I remember when I turned 18, I got literally my dream car. It was a Mitsubishi Eclipse. It was all black. limo tinted, lowered, rims, system, all that. Literally looked like the Batmobile. And when I was driving it, I felt like Batman. And I remember the type of attraction that it was creating simply from that. It was really cool. And just recently, so after moving to LA, I don't want to drive so much, so I just settled for a simple car. It was a 2008 Toyota Camry. Simple, nothing too crazy. And I was leaving it out in the sun a lot, so the paint was starting to chip off. So I had to give it back to my pops because he knew all these people that can fix it. And he had to give me a temporary car in the meantime. So he actually gave me a Mercedes-Benz. And I felt like I had some superpower. I remember I'll be like rolling to the temple and like spiritual communities, and I'll just like drive really slow. Just so people can kind of like, you know, just get a good look. And then, I don't know if you guys seen the Mercedes-Benz key, but it's amazing looking. It's like a diamond or something. And I remember I'd be like in the grocery store line, and I'll just kind of like let it dangle out my pocket, just so like the person from behind can kind of like see what I'm working with here. So that just happens, you know. It's pretty amazing. So wealth is one of the 6 qualities of attraction. So I want to ask you guys, for those who don't know and want to guess, what do you guys think are some other qualities that go in this list of attraction?
Physical, emotional,
Personality, beauty,
Generosity.
patience.
Wow, okay, that's a lot of stuff. I heard one though, beauty. Beauty is definitely an attractive quality. Anybody who's beautiful, they're just naturally able to draw people to them. What else? We get health. Okay.
Intelligence. Strength.
Strength. Someone said intelligence?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys are both right. So strength is the 3rd quality. If somebody's strong, you see a lot of people going to the gym, wanting to get buff, wanting to get big. There's a reason for that, because it attracts. And even if you look like Bruce Lee, that's like attractive as well, getting all cut up. And that's physical strength, but then there's also internal strength. If somebody's really determined, really focused on their goals, really strong from inside, that's also really attractive. So we got wealth, beauty, strength, and you said intelligence. So knowledge is the 4th quality. And you can see if somebody is very intelligent, if they get a PhD, Nobel Prize, these types of things, you're naturally attracted to them. So we got 2 more.
Creativity.
Creativity, yeah, that's a good one.
No, that's not one.
something to mention.
That's a good one.
With spirituality?
Yeah, with anything. Spirituality? Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, that is attractive if somebody's spiritual. Yeah, what else?
Wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah, that goes hand in hand with knowledge.
Fame.
Fame, yeah. Do you know the answers? Okay, just checking. Yeah, you're pretty on point.
Famous.
Fame is a big one. If somebody is famous, then you're attracted to them. It doesn't even matter who they are. If they're just in like some TV show, and they can look like whatever, but because they're in that TV show, you naturally feel this aura around them. Like, wow, this is like a real star. And I'll let you guys know what the 6th one is, because it's kind of hard to understand. But the 6th one is called renunciation. Do you guys know what the word renunciation means?
Let go of.
Let go of? Who said that? Okay, yeah, that's right. That's the right definition. So why do you think renunciation is attractive?
Because the person remains unaffected
Right?
Yeah.
And you look at him like, dang, that didn't bother him at all.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. That is really attractive. Like if somebody is in like some type of debate or competition and they're getting really worked up and their face is turning red, and then the other guy's just like cool, calm, relaxed. These things don't really affect them. You're naturally attracted to that cool, calm, collective individual. When I think of renunciation or detachment, I think of this show MTV Cribs. You guys remember this show, MTV Cribs? Yeah. So MTV Cribs, you know, you got these celebrities, and they got like just crazy homes. It's like 20 bedrooms. I mean, their kitchen has like a bowling alley, just like ridiculous, like toilet seats made out of diamonds, all kinds of stuff. But I remember the most special MTV Crib was by this rapper named Redman. Did any of you guys see that episode?
Yeah.
So it was really amazing because Redman, he was living like in his grandma's house or something, and the whole place was like dirty. You try to like ring the doorbell, it doesn't work. There's like these two wires you gotta rub together, and that was really attractive because he has a lot of money, he has a lot of wealth, he's also been in movies, but it doesn't faze him, and he's detached. Even people like Warren Buffett or Mark Zuckerberg, I think he wears the same t-shirt every day. He's not really flossing so much, and at a certain level that just starts to become attractive. So these are the 6 opulences. Again, to recap, maybe you guys can help me. So we got wealth,
Beauty, strength,
knowledge,
knowledge,
Fame.
fame,
renunciation.
renunciation. Yeah, okay. You guys are like really attentive. Really amazing. Cool. So now what does the yoga text say about this? Basically, these are all gifts that we get. These are all blessings that we get. But the yoga texts say that if we don't use these blessings for higher consciousness, then these blessings will become burdens. These gifts will actually become curses. And I don't really have time to discuss each and every single one, but I do want to hone in on one, and that's fame. And I want to talk about fame a little bit more today. Is that okay? Yeah, cool. So, to start off, I want to first mention a really good friend of mine who is or was a YouTube celebrity. He would have millions of views on every single video that he would post. And I've even been out with him sometimes, and literally he's just able to just attract people to him. And yeah, he's famous. He has over 10, 20 million followers, something like that. And then after some time, he decided to turn off all his social media and just leave that world. And that's really rare for something like that to happen. So I asked him, like, why did you do that? We were having like an intimate discussion, and he started to reveal his heart a little bit more. And he told me that at the height of his success, when he had all the money, phone calls left and right, asking to be in this movie, that movie, followers, etc. When everything was going for him, when he was at the height of his success, he said that that's when he was feeling the most loneliest. That's when he was feeling the most depressed. So why do you think that is?
It can become very superficial, fame.
Mm.
And especially with like social media today, and you have like all these people following you, but if you don't have actual connection to people that are following you, then it kind of gets lost in the ether, or like in the web of things.
Right.
That's how I think.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Anyone else? Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't following his sole purpose.
Mm. Yeah.
He had nothing else to look forward to. No motivation.
Yeah, it's just like likes, shares, comments, things like that.
And you said another thing. He reached the pinnacle. So usually, if like, well, what am I going to do next? I could get a lot more followers, but like, what's that actually do for me? So it's like if you reach your goal, like if you have a goal and you made it, now it's like, well, what next? Like, what should I do next? And then if you're listening to, if you're a renunciant, like it sounds like he denounced these things that got him this fame, so he works on the next quality.
Yeah, there's actually people who go to the Olympics, and the Olympics is such a high for those individuals that when they return back to their normal life, they enter this form of depression that they can't counter because there's no other high that can match that high. So these are some of the problems going on in the world. So I want to talk about this concept of celebrity and what it means to be famous. Celebrity actually comes from the word celebration. So that's what it means to be a celebrity. And there's a real interesting study on celebrities. First, I'll define what a celebrity is. A celebrity is basically the reward of those who have a pleasing and vivid exterior personality, or they have accomplished wonderful creations in their lifetime, or they attract attention to themselves by other means. A lot of people are falling into this third category these days. They're just doing whatever they can to try to attract people to them. We should always remember that at the end of the day, it's the endeavor that really counts, that really matters. When I think about this example, I think about a well-known hip-hop artist. I'm sure you guys all know him. His name is Jay-Z. And Jay-Z released his first album when he was 26 years old. And in hip-hop times, that's considered like grandpa years to release an album at age 26 at a time when people were releasing albums at 18, 19, 20. But Jay-Z says that it's because he released his album at age 26, he had a lot of maturity at that point. He had a lot of depth in his music, and it lasted him all these years. And for those who did release their music at 18, 19, they were just talking about some temporary things, and now they've become temporary themselves. So it's important to have depth in the things that we do. So there's a real interesting study on celebrities. I have a study here by Charles Figley. He's a PhD from Florida State University, and he studies fame and celebrities. And what he has said is that to be a celebrity means to have more than the usual assaults to one's ego. So you can imagine, like, if somebody was to say something bad to us in the morning time or afternoon time, we're still thinking about it. It's still lingering on the next day, etc. But imagine when you have thousands of people saying things about you, writing things about you, saying things that are not even true. And this can really cause a lot of depression. And again, this is a beautiful gift to be famous. It's a blessing, but now you can see it has all of a sudden become a burden. And so there's a list of some of the things that celebrities do feel that is really causing their depression. They have crazy fans coming at them. You guys remember Eminem Stan? It was like a music video where it was like fictitious, but still it's happened in real life, where you have a crazy fan who is so in love with you that they're doing all these horrendous things, like trying to sneak into your life, sneak into your house, etc. This can cause a lot of worry for the celebrity. Then there's also threatening letters, lack of privacy. Like I go to India every year, and there's some places where there's these mosquitoes that just don't leave you alone. And now imagine if you had human-like mosquitoes with cameras coming at you at every single moment. That's what it's like. It's pretty bad. And then you got critics, etc. And then the way that the celebrities react to these things, they take drugs, they cannot have trust in people, they have a lot of self-hatred, etc. There was actually this one male celebrity who's quite well known, and he wanted to take his family out to go get some pizza. And as they were leaving, the youngest son turned to the mom and said, "Does dad have to come?" Yeah, so it's pretty bad. And there's also another study that says that celebrities are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than the average human being. So these are just some stats. And maybe we can like go through some of these other opulences, these qualities that we were talking about in the beginning, and let's see how those blessings become burdens. So how does wealth, which is a blessing, start to become a burden?
You abuse it?
Your visa?
No, you abuse it.
Oh, you abuse it. Yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, you totally abuse it.
It's never enough.
It's never enough.
Never
Right.
fulfilled.
You have this like greed, right? You just want more and more. Gandhi said there's enough in this world for everyone's need, but not enough in this world for everyone's greed.
1%.
Yeah, that's right. And what else? How does wealth? Yeah.
Fear of losing it.
Right, there's like you get like a brand new Ferrari, and now you're just so worried like no one scratches it, and if they do, your head starts spinning, right?
Another one's probably like everybody's asking you for money, your whole family, everybody's hitting you up like, hey, let me borrow this, let me get that.
Yeah.
Everybody wants something from you.
Yeah, that's right. So these are the problems with wealth. Something that is a blessing all of a sudden has become a burden. Also, wealth can lead to a lot of enviousness. It can even lead to murder, etc. You see all these cases. So that's what's going on. How about beauty? How does beauty, which is a blessing, a gift, how does that become a curse?
It's just skin deep and it's not reflected in the qualities that you express.
Right, yeah. I can see, especially for like women, if they're very beautiful, then guys treat them with not so much self-respect. They can't feel like they can really trust the guy. They don't know what that guy is after. And a lot of times it can lead to a lot of humiliation, vice versa. Any other way beauty can become a burden?
I think sometimes like people get too confused with the physical appearance, that they kind of put them on a pedestal.
Right.
And if the person behaves out of that pedestal, they kind of like cause suffering to themselves because they're like expecting this like beautiful person to stay beautiful. But if this person acts like a human, like if they act out of character, then they're gonna be really confused, but they're not gonna know why.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yes.
There was like an actress I read about, and she was a very beautiful woman, and then in her 50s she started to age, right? And she didn't want to accept that, so she started to do all of this like cosmetic surgeries and everything else, and things still go down, right? With age. And then she committed suicide, and she was too attached to her external looks.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's like a really good example. Yeah. So, okay, we got wealth, we got beauty down. How about knowledge? How does knowledge, which is a blessing, start to become like destruction?
You could become conceited with your knowledge. Like how you hear like, oh, Mr. Know-it-all.
Right. Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah, totally.
When someone abuses it
Mm.
in the wrong fashion.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, Hitler had a lot of knowledge,
Yeah.
but he used it in the wrong way.
The same thing with Tesla. You know, like when he died, the government raided his house and took all of his inventions that were supposed to be used for like the greater good, but they apparently like they're using it for like weapons instead. So there's like his knowledge. He knew that a lot of the things he created were he opened up and said that they were equally destructive as constructive.
Yeah.
You know, and he had no power once he died. So I guess when people took his inventions, they used it to one end. So
Yeah.
knowledge can be dangerous that way.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, blessings into burdens. How about strength? How does strength, which is a blessing, to be fit, physically fit, how does that become a burden?
If people always rely on you to be the one to like lift them up, like actually physically be there for them, or because the strength of everything than physical strength. So emotionally always being dependent on someone else.
Yeah.
To lift you up.
Yeah, that's right. And also, if you're very buff or whatever it may be, it can cause a lot of rage as well. You might want to just start fights with people, etc. You've seen that happen as well.
Testosterone.
Yeah, high testosterone. And
And also with that, it's hard to maintain. I mean, it's similar to the beauty concept. If you're working out, then you could hurt yourself actually.
right.
You can become a bully too.
Yeah, you can become a bully.
I heard that the actor who played Wolverine, it was like the main reason why he stopped because he his training was so intense that he part of the reasons why he quit the character was because he couldn't deal with the training anymore. As he was getting older, he wanted like to just not like have his looks be such a big part of his like character, you know.
Yeah. So it's a common thing that's going on. And then how about this sixth, opulence, renunciation? How does renunciation, a blessing, become a burden?
If people take your advantage for letting go for every little thing, and it might even change people from being nice to greedy.
Right. Yeah.
I think if you don't understand what you're renouncing, then you could renounce things that you're like not sure if you really should or not.
Right.
So if you don't have the proper understanding to what you're renouncing, then that can be dangerous.
Yeah. And you can even have like a lot of false ego for renouncing. You can look at other people and think, oh, like, why does he drive this car? Why does he have this money? Look at me. I don't have any of that. I'm more advanced than him. So that can creep in as well. So these are all blessings that have become burdens. And so what's the solution to this problem? It's actually the topic of this talk. Use your gifts for a higher purpose, a higher service. Because the yoga texts explain that it's because we're using our gifts for selfish reasons that we're receiving these types of reactions. But if we become selfless and we learn to purify our passions, then we can truly do a lot of good in this world. So we have to turn internally, and we have to really work and start from within. And I think that's why it's important to have good circles around you, good community, good people around you, because then they can help you. And it's not just your mind working alone all of a sudden, but community really builds unity, and through that you can start to understand how to truly purify your consciousness. I have this quote that I wrote one time. It was, if you want to be profound, then you have to find the pros. You guys like that? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Make it a t-shirt or something. Yeah, this actually reminds me I personally went through. So for the last 5-6 years, I've been living as a monk. I've been dedicating my life to more internal work. And before that, I was a music producer. I was working in the hip-hop industry, and I was making beats for film, television, and hip-hop artists. And I remember that I was trying to get my beats to a lot of these major artists, and I was getting some here and there, but all of a sudden there was this really major artist that wanted to get on one of my beats, and I got super excited. And at the same time, I was also becoming more awake. I think they call it woke, getting more, and getting more spiritual. So that was going on, and I remember like vividly. I sent him the beat. He wrote some lyrics to it. He recorded himself onto it, and then him and his manager sent the song back to me. And what was supposed to be the most exciting moment of my music career to date actually became the biggest turning point and the most disappointing moment, because as soon as I pressed play, it was all about drugs, 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 kill, 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 calling woman this, woman that. And I realized if I take part in something like this song, this music track is gonna go out there, and it's just going to lower the consciousness of the people. And karmically, I'm attached to that. So that's the day I actually decided to leave the music industry and enter the monk industry. But it wasn't a light switch. I didn't just decide like, okay, I'm just gonna become a monk, let me like jump into the temple. There was a period where I was doing a lot of questioning, etc. And I needed to find a new job. So I started to do music meditation therapy to autistic children. And I would go to their homes, I would spend a few hours with them, and we would try different types of meditations. And these autistic kids, high functioning autism means that they're kind of normal. Low functioning autism means they're very wild. They throw things, they bite people, etc. I was dealing with the low functioning autistic kids, and nothing seemed to calm them down. But as soon as I started doing some music meditation, I would actually chant mantras like this. I would play different sounds, different frequencies, and I could see that they would all sit down peacefully, they'd become quiet, and that's how I started to grow a lot of faith in this music meditation, the sound frequency. And I thought it was really amazing. And so that led to greater things. Now we have a program at the University of Southern California. It's the Music Meditation Club. And we meet once a week, and we work with the students. We have different music meditation sessions. We feed them vegan dinners. It's kind of like here, over there. And I've had students literally come up to me, some just crying with tears, saying, "Thank you, this was everything I was looking for." One student told me I was on the verge of suicide, but this club, this program has helped me. So this is how you can actually purify your gifts and your talents, by just doing greater good for the world. And then you'll see the different types of blessings that you receive. You'll receive even more blessings. So we should live our life in this way as much as possible. I have a quote that I wrote in my room, and I look at it every day. And if you guys can take away one thing from this whole lecture, I would say it would be this quote. So I've written, it's not like anything special or big, but it really works. Live your life as if you're being filmed 24/7. Because what that's going to do is completely change the consciousness of all your activities. You are going to feel that every action that I'm doing is now important. Whatever it is I'm doing is important. And who knows, when we leave our body, we might go to some spiritual party, and there might be some VCR there, and these higher beings will be like, okay, let's pop the cassette in, and everyone might watch it. So let's live extraordinary lives, incredible lives. Your legacy is determined by your legs, and so we should really work as much as possible to purify ourselves, to use our gifts for higher consciousness, higher abilities, and like that we will live very peaceful, happy lives. So I think I'll stop there. Thank you.